Good morning. Next question is from Jennifer. Good morning, Jennifer. Yeah, I hope you're having a great day. All right. Jennifer writes, a friend who is in the "this is a hoax" camp. Why is that still a camp? Ugh. Okay. Yeah. That that makes me sad. But all right, fine. Anyway, let's get to the actual question. Yeah. Said that she heard people are testing positive because the test checks for all coronaviruses and not just the one that causes COVID-19. Okay, that's not true, but we'll go into that. I tried to find an answer via Google, wasn't successful. Can Dr. Ben shed some light on this? Also, she claims people that wear masks are more likely to get strep throat and impetigo. Also, no, but allow me. Yeah. I shook my head. Where's this come from? It comes from people that are worried and are trying to do something about it and don't really know what to do about it. I think that yeah, it comes from what's good in people. It just comes out in a bad way, I would say. So okay. First question. Yeah, does the test pick up all coronaviruses or just this one? Yeah, boy, if I was doing a screen share one, I could show you the little sequence. So you can compare SARS coronavirus 1, SARS coronavirus 2, and various other human coronaviruses and mouse coronaviruses and whatever, all these things that are related to each other genetically. And when you do that, so the tests that are approved in the US are called the N1 test and the N2 test. And both of these things are hitting the same gene. It's called the N gene, which stands for the nucleoprotein gene, or some old schoolers would call it the nucleocapsid gene, although I think it's formally the nucleoprotein, And the nucleoprotein gene, there are two of these little sets, and each set has three different things that all have to bind really tightly, or else you don't get a positive. And in a normal test, they will do both the N1 and the N2. So 3 at the front and 3 at the back of the N gene separately, totally separately. And if all 6 of those things bind and light up, then you get a positive. And if only one of those binds and lights up, then you get an inconclusive. And if none of them bind and light up, but the controls are okay, then they say, you know what, you're negative. Yeah, go about your life. You can compare them, and actually there are enough differences in all 3 components at both of the sites. So all 6 components are different enough that none of them would bind, even between SARS-2 and SARS-1, which are actually the closest relatives in this bunch. Everything else, you're talking, I don't know, 50, 60% amino acid identity tops, which probably means like 40, 30% nucleotide identity. You can't get nucleotides that are 70% different to stick to the same thing. That doesn't happen. Ways that you might get potential cross-reaction are with some antibody tests, but they're extremely low levels. And some T cell tests, like a white blood cell test, which they would run in labs as part of a scientific experiment, but not it's not something your doctor would ever do to diagnose the virus. And something like 1% of the total response seems to be, on multiple viruses, and so could come from something else. But they have set thresholds at a certain height, so you can't just have a 1% response and then be called positive. You got to have a pretty big response to be called positive. And so no, there's no practical way that the tests that are out there, as far as I'm aware, can give you a false positive because you've had some other coronavirus, because you've definitely had some other coronaviruses in your life. Statistically, it is guaranteed. Okay, so that's that part. The tests are very specific, and they're looking for RNA and DNA, and that's the test that actually says if you have the virus, and there's no way for that to come up if you don't have the virus. It's just, let's see, and what was the other part of it? The people that wear masks are likely to get strep throat or impetigo. What the mask is doing is it's keeping things that go out of your mouth from going out into the world. So a mask would prevent other people from getting strep throat. Impetigo is, I thought that was Staphylococcus aureus or something like that. Just, when it gets, on a different site than it's usually found. And yeah, these are just weird. I guess you're creating a humid environment. Maybe that's what people are worried about. But the only bacteria that are going to be there are the ones that are either already on you or are inside of you and are coming out. And if they're already inside of you, either you're already sick or they're not going to make you sick. And I feel like those are the only choices. No, masks are still very pro public, pro everybody, pro the world, basically. Yeah, pro human antivirus. There we go. Thanks very much, and I don't know. Good luck. Yeah, I don't know that you'll convince this person, but maybe you can convince some of the people around them, and maybe eventually, yeah, they'll listen too. That's all we can hope. Yeah, just keep trying, stay strong. Thanks very much. This is Ask Dr. Ben.